IVM.
You are the most valuable investment you will ever make. Hi, I'm Zarina Poonawalla, your leadership coach, life coach, and emotional intelligence coach. You probably know me from the Empowering series, and this is my new show, the Life Manifesto with Zarina Poonawalla. I'm going to coach you to be the best version of yourselves. So get ready to create, attain, and manifest the life you've always desired and make it your reality. Alright, my precious people, I'm back with the third and fourth agreement as promised. And I hope you have managed to work on yourselves and reflected on yourselves. Maybe ask the right questions related to the first and the second one. So let's get on with it. Do you remember the third agreement, the third one? This definitely is one of my favorites. Why? Because the figment of imagination our mind creates actually truly decides many life decisions. And it could change the direction of your life. And so, here we go with the third agreement. Do not make assumptions. How often do you make statements like, "Oh, but I assumed that you'd finish the presentation in time," or "I thought you will be picking me up," "I believe you are angry with me," "I thought that you didn't want to meet me or see me or talk to me." Problem is, we assume a lot. Matter of fact, let me tell you, most people spend their life making assumptions, and the bigger problem is people make more and more decisions in life based on assumptions. Now, do you know why? It's because we actually believe that our assumptions are the truth. We are so sure it's the truth that that's the only way we see it. For us, our assumptions are not an imagination. They are real. It's our reality. We think we know how others are feeling, what they are doing and thinking, and somehow we find a way to relate to that ourselves, and we want to believe it so desperately that we forget that it's just a figment of our imagination. It may not be reality. Think about how many times you've assumed that your friends don't like you and they don't want to invite you anymore, and that you've lost your friends because now you're not good enough, or you lost someone in a relationship because you're not good enough. Think about how many times you've assumed, "Oh, my friends don't like me anymore, so that's the reason why they mustn't have invited me," or "They thought I've done something wrong and that's the reason why they're keeping distance from me." How many times assuming a promotion has disappointed you terribly and demotivated you? You thought this appraisal was coming up and you were so sure, you assumed that it's going to work out. Now, being positive is one thing, but making assumptions is an absolutely different story. How many times have you caused drama in your life solely based on assumptions? Or because the people who are important to you, they usually make assumptions around you all the time and you believe them. Maybe a rumor mill or some kind of grapevine spreading around, you believe it. You assume it's true because that's what people say. But why do you constantly make assumptions and not realize that you might be plain wrong to think the way you're thinking? Just because you prefer not to clarify or ask? You prefer not to communicate your feelings or thoughts? You rather just manifest this in your head yourself and think of it as your reality? Such a disservice to yourself. You ever wondered what it does to you? I mean, you're blinded by your own thoughts. You see only what you want to see, hear only what you want to hear, and you defend your thoughts because you've made them real. You don't give the other person a chance because you prefer to win an argument on the basis of what you've assumed rather than admitting that you could be wrong. You overthink. You behave like an absolute know-it-all. You create drama in your own life and eventually you victimize yourself. Now, do you still want to be assumptuous? I reckon not. If not, then let's change that right away. And I'll summarize it in the words of Don Miguel himself. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And in addition, just remember this one simple statement. Don't assume. Ask. Just do that. Lastly, the fourth agreement. This one is the glue, the driver, and your go-to agreement when all else fails. The fourth agreement is always do your best. Let me tell you, there will be days where you snap at people or offend someone with your words. There might be times when you take something said to you personally, or maybe you just assume something and then you overthink it. Now that's when the fourth agreement becomes the most important one to practice. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. You will have your moments. You aren't perfect. But you must add these in your daily routine, make it habitual, rewire yourself inside out. Always ask yourself, did you give it your best? Have you done your best? Always do your best. Give it your best. Whatever it takes, whatever you take, give it your 100%. Go all in. You're not perfect, and as I always say, you aren't meant to be. So don't even try. I know sometimes having the best results in your interest isn't in your hands. Sometimes you're not in control and you're not in charge of that. It doesn't happen for you. And you feel like, why should I try so much, do so much when nothing works? You will have those days. We all do. But there is one thing that is entirely in your hands, in your control and in your charge. And that is to give it your best. As discussed in part 1 of this series, we have been domesticated and preconditioned and turned into a species who constantly seeks approval and validation. So naturally, we also have been taught one thing very clearly. Be the best. Win. Always be first, right? But you know what? When I read this agreement, I understood one thing very clearly. Don't focus on being the best. Focus on doing your best. You can't possibly be the best at everything. Those are unnatural standards you are living with, eventually comparing and competing through life. But if you do the best you can, despite your situation, your past, what's in your future, or the outcome of it, believe me, you will reap benefits in one way or the other, at some point in time or the other. You will feel fulfilled and good about yourself. You will sleep well at night and have the right frame of mind to accomplish what you set out to, because you aren't competing with anyone. You're just giving it your all. You're giving it your best. So you can probably use some sentences like, today I will do my best to say my piece. Today I will do my best to be impeccable with my word. Today I will do my best to not take things personally. Remember that it's about them and not about me. Today I will do my best not to make assumptions. I may not be correct or right in knowing what other people are thinking or feeling. Today, I will simply do my best. I will give it my all. No more, no less. And let me tell you, this comes from your soul. It doesn't come from your mind or heart or just any part of your body. It comes from all of you. To give something your best comes from within. So to end this agreement, in the words of the author, your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to when you are sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse and regret. With that, I've come to the end of the 4 agreements, and I hope you enjoyed this little series, because I personally feel it has been life-changing for me and for a lot of other people all across the world. Now, if you're not a reader, like I said, just listen to this and start practicing in your lives. Ask yourself every day, just ask 4 questions. Have I done my best? Have I been impeccable with my word? Have I been committed to my word? Have I made assumptions out of nothing? Have I taken something personally that I should not have? Ask yourself these questions and trust me, you'll feel better for it. And you won't really have as many issues as you generally create in your mind. And if you need, go back to this episode on the map is not the territory on my podcast. You might be able to find some interesting ways of dealing with your reality and your imagination. So, my precious people, if you enjoy listening to the Life Manifesto and manifesting your life and achieving your dreams, please go ahead and like and rate our podcast. You can also click on the notification bell to get to know as soon as our latest episode drops. Do subscribe to the Life Manifesto. It's going to help us go a long way, and also reach out to like-minded people who want to truly manifest their lives and live the best version of themselves. So, while you're going to deal with these 4 agreements, do not forget, do what you love and do it often. And if you don't like something, go right ahead and change it. The power is within you. Thank you for tuning in to the Life Manifesto with me, Zarina. If you find the show useful, then please share it with your friends, family, and co-workers. You never know. You may just help someone become the best version of themselves. And if you want to align your life with some signature masterclasses, certification courses, and live sessions with me, go check out and download my app, Life Manifesto with Zarina Poonawalla, available on Play Store or Apple Store. And if you have any suggestions or anything that you would like to share with me, get in touch with me on my social media handles. I am at Zarina Poonawalla on Instagram and LinkedIn, and at Zarina Speaks on Twitter. See you in the next episode.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik talks to Svetlana Naudial, Programming Director Asia Movie, about how movie curates access to world cinema. Introducing our new show, Capgemini's Techipedia series with Sheeladitya M. In the first episode, we meet Nishit Srivastav, Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at Capgemini India. He tells us all about the metaverse's impact on different domains. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam explores stock market trends with Prabhakar Tiwari, Chief Growth Officer at Angel One. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk discuss how the latest events in Sri Lanka impact India. On The Habit Coach, Ashton shares 3 steps to shake off a slump. And on Say No to Drama, Chetna explains how we can protect ourselves from energy suckers. We've got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcasts has just launched its merch, and our first line is out now. Head to the IVM Podcasts website and click on the Shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Do follow us on social media via IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. You can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance and Jupiter, our digital banking app.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people, and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.